How do I do, y'all? Tables here. This is another update to the Herald of Purity video. And, we just want to go over some things. The build is fun. Actually, single target's actually really good. The mapping leaves a lot to be desired. Defenses are in an okay spot. They're not great. They're not horrifically bad. But we are liable to one-shots, and the Slaven shield is just it's mega expensive. Now, for me personally, this has been like a really slow league start for whatever reason. And, it's been kind of an issue getting this online. Early game was really bad until we got Gravebind. And then Gravebind really changed the whole dynamic of the build. I would never play this build without Gravebind ever, period, just full stop. I think it's pretty much mandatory. And that's just for smoothness of playing. We still use the Writhing Jar for a fair amount, especially on bosses, just to get that initial push so we can start doing our damage. But, as far as I'm concerned, the mapping is pretty subpar. Just for me personally. Now all that will change once we get Svalin, which I'll get it eventually. For the most part, I don't have many issues clearing T16's maps. We just got to play somewhat conservatively so that we don't die. I think we're level 91 right now. But there are other issues with the build. Currently, in order to use the amount of cluster jewels that we need, we'd have to sacrifice life and or sacrifice minion regen, which is kind of killer on our specters because they don't really do a lot of leeching because they don't really do a lot of damage, right? So you end up in this situation where you're going to have to give something up, right? We can't use the zombies because they die all the time. You have to constantly resummon them, and it's very annoying. You can't use Herald of Agony if you want to use Lone Messenger because you can only have one Herald. And I'm not willing to give up 25% more damage just for ease of use of Feeding Frenzy. So then that means you have to get the extra Golem from the passive skill tree. So you're going to have to sacrifice even more points. And these are little quirks and issues that I would have worked out already had this not been a temporary league. I like to test my builds thoroughly, very thoroughly before they ever come to the channel. So, yeah, Spectres dying, it's an issue. It's absolutely an issue. And, we're getting 2-3 mil upwards of DPS off of our Spectres. So I'm still trying to work out how to solve that little issue. But for now, we just resummon. When they die, we just go back into our hideout and we resummon, and then we go on about our business. So far, the Golem situation for Feeding Frenzy, it's fine. It's serviceable. It still dies every once in a while, but it's also not max level. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, we're gonna move into the gear stuff, but just my experience with the build so far, I enjoy playing it, but I don't love playing it. In my opinion, Popcorn SRS is just leaps and bounds what this build could hope to be. And that's also, that's partly a function of how the play style is, and the fact that we don't have auras is very brutal. It really truly is. It is very hard. It really makes you play the game in a different light. And so I'm glad that I made this build, and I'm glad that we're going through this process. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Gladiator Bleed build that I did in Settlers, the SRS Popcorn build that I've done for 8 leagues now almost, I feel like. They're just better, more fleshed out builds. And I think this one, like I said, the single target is amazing. I think this could legitimately be a fantastic bosser, but definitely not an uber farmer. I still, I only got 3 voice zones right now, right? So it's just going to take me time to get this fleshed out. Luckily, they did extend it for another month. We do have 2 months of this league. So that does give me some time to flesh this out. And I am very excited to do that. But, it's going to take time. So that's kind of my thoughts on the build right now. And then we'll probably do another build. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll do something. I haven't really looked in depth at what I would want to play next, but probably like Smite Paladin or something. I love Smite. Smite is such a fun little skill. I'm such a huge fan of it. So anyways, let's move ourselves into the gear. Okay, so here we are at the gear. We are level 91. We're like not fully fire red scalped because I'm still trying to get that figured out because we were having some gear issues. Boots, these are really bad, and I just haven't upgraded them yet. And by the way, my in-game experience has been a little brutal because I just really haven't had a lot of currency to upgrade items, and I just really started upgrading them today. We got this. This was like 5 chaos. And since our gear was pretty bad, my friend had recommended I start doing Blight. Because, Blight's kind of set it and forget it for the most part. And honestly, it's been really good. But yeah, we found this for like 5 chaos. It was super mega cheap, crazy cheap. We found this for 25 chaos, I think. Something like that. It was also very cheap. This was like 20 chaos. This was, I think, a div. And then this was about a div and a half. This is the same shield I've been using since the campaign. Same belt I've been using since the campaign. We maxed out our Gravebind, and we ended up with a +1 with an open suffix. I'm still rolling my flasks, and we still need to get some bobbers to get these whole little things automated. But that's the build. Here's the passive skill tree. Right, we ended up needing to get into Golem Commander, right? So I dropped my Death Attunement wheel for Golem Commander. We got a Lone Messenger, so no more Herald of Agony. Rip, sad. And then in order to get Disciples, I'm still rolling another medium for the other notable on this medium. But we did end up finding for 10 chaos a Feasting Fiends Rotten Claw, Call to the Slaughter. That's 8 for 10 chaos. Super cheap. Mega cheap. But unfortunately, we had to take away our Righteous Army wheel, though I think it might be better to put this back and honestly take away from this. Because currently, this is the only region that our minions have access to, which is 1%. Without this, they don't have any region whatsoever. Which could be fixed on Gas Layout Jewels. But I don't know. We're still kind of playing around with things and seeing what works and what I'm happy with and what I'm not happy with. Just random jewels that give flat fizz and attack speed and minion damage on a minion skill use. Our block just natty 5350. So not terrible, not amazing. And yeah, we got some gearing to do. We got a lot of gearing to do. I will be playing Monster Hunter Wilds, so there probably won't be an update for a little bit. But rest assured, the build will be fleshed out eventually, and I will continue to do updates for you guys. And if I start a new build, I'll do a new video for that as well. And that's all I have. That's the update. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. God bless.